Hi, my name is Rod Sinks. I'm Mayor of Cupertino, and we're here at the Cupertino Fire Station on Stevens Creek Blvd. We're going to get a tour today of this station. It's a pleasure to take a tour today of this fire station, which I understand has some historical artifacts from long ago.
Yeah, first of all, welcome once again to our fire station. This station is very unique in that we do have a lot of historical artifacts from years past. This station replaced a station that was originally built in 1947, and this station was built in 1999. So we've actually doubled the space and doubled the capacity to allow to better serve the citizens of Cupertino. But we're here in the museum of the Cupertino Fire Station, which stores a lot of artifacts from the old station. It also has a restored engine that was restored by Charlie Bear. This engine was staffed originally by Cupertino volunteers. So we're very happy to have it here. It's a centerpiece of this museum. This museum offers a lot of children and citizens to come and view the history, not just of the fire department, but also of Cupertino as well.
Oh, this is super interesting. So this says that this was reconstructed by Charles Bear in 1919, excuse me, and pulled by an old Packard Twin 6 Auto. And if you managed to save the home, the owner paid the fire department $20. That's not how we fund our fire department.
That's not how we fund the fire service today. No, your tax dollars fund this service. So it's actually free of charge. And we'll go into more detail, but we provide much more service than just fire protection in the fire department now, which is something that we pride ourselves on.
You go out and save lives when people have heart attacks or other medical emergencies, right?
We save lives through heart attacks, but we also respond to fires, all types of medical emergencies, public assistance. We do fire inspections. We provide fire investigation services. We provide hazmat response. Yeah. We also interact a lot with the community using the CERT program. We're very active with that. And probably the biggest focus of our department is public education.
I was with a citizen at a chamber event some months ago, just up the road, up De Anza Boulevard, and I had attempted to use the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge something that had gotten stuck in her throat and was unsuccessful, but I had somebody else call 911 while I was administering, and you guys were there within 2 or 3 minutes, even though it was like 5 o'clock on a weekday. And you were successful in getting that food out and saving that person's life. So
yeah, I remember that call.
You do remember that
yes,
call?
Yes, I do.
It was really scary.
We provide service that the citizens actually start themselves. Yeah. That's very, very common. And we're specially trained in medical care, advanced life support. So we just continue the care that the citizens are providing. So it's all encompassing. We don't provide the only service. The citizens initiate the service, initiate the call, and then we respond out and provide enhanced service.
Another example of that is Pulsepoint, right?
That's right.
So citizens can download the Pulsepoint app and they can see when somebody's suffering from medical emergency. If they're CPR trained, they may have a chance to save a life while your trucks are rolling out to the scene to provide more advanced care.
Right. Pulsepoint more specifically deals with people who are suffering a heart attack, but it gives us citizens an opportunity to know exactly where the nearest AED or defibrillator is located to give this person who's suffering a heart attack an even better chance of survival.
Yeah, no, that's great. We had a contest that we teamed up with Santa Clara County Fire on earlier this year, so we're proud to say we have a lot more AEDs on that Pulsepoint map now.
Yeah, we're proud to also say the city of Cupertino is very, very active in pursuing public education for emergency response, for fire service, and for medical care. So that's for the firefighters that work here. Any help that we can get from the community is always appreciated.
So you're an independent agency. You get money out of property tax, so we're funded independently. And yet we work together on so many of these things that have, where things are intertwined, we work together to help our residents.
That's right. The city of Cupertino contracts with the county for fire protection, but we have the unique relationship in that we work with the communities that we serve, in this case, Cupertino, to try and tailor the type of service that we provide but also to interact with the community to see what needs they may have and to constantly see exactly where we can improve our service as well.
Great. Well, where are we going next?
Well, the next, I'm going to take you into this little area here to give you a little history of the Cupertino Fire Station. Cupertino Fire Station, as well as the rest of our 15 stations, we used to do all of our reports on what this is called a typewriter.
A what?
A typewriter, something that a lot of people, I'm sure, forgot about or are not aware of. But
I went off to college with one of those.
That's right. We used to put paper in here and type our reports, and if we made a mistake, we'd have to pull it out, put a new piece of paper in. Well, then with the advent of computers, a lot of our report writing became computerized. So this is an old Apple Macintosh 2 SI. We went to these computers back in 1992, and as you can see, in our department, we are always embracing technology, this being probably the first part of the revolution that Apple Computer has.
Now, I remember
made.
this is called a floppy, right?
That's right.
Wow.
You put a floppy disk in there to save a lot of information, to archive it. Floppy disks, are long gone now, just like the computer, like the typewriter here.
Yep.
So
we used Macintoshes
interesting piece
too.
of history there.
That is quite an old computer.
So we're going to proceed into our office. This is kind of the heart or the pulse of Cupertino Fire Station.
Okay.
We do a lot of things in this station. The main thing that we do is we begin our workday right here. So as you know, our work schedule is we're on for 48 hours. We start our shift at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We work for 2 full days, and we go home. In this case, it'll be tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. We have a total of 7 people at this station, so we'll begin to exchange information of what happened this past week, and we'll kind of look at our calendars, our work schedule, to see what else is going to be happening this next tour. Two days equal to 1 tour. We can do a variety of things. We do fire inspections of businesses.
Yeah.
We do public education programs, weed abatement, all kinds of things that happen throughout the next 2 days, as well as run emergency calls. So it's a very, very active station, very, very busy station. But a lot of that takes place right here in this office.
Fascinating. So if I get tired on my long shift, where do I go to sleep?
We have dormitories.
Okay.
Of course, this is our house
Yeah.
for 48 hours. So
Yeah.
just like at home, we eat and sleep, in this case, train, out of our house here.
So you don't have to stay awake for 48 hours
No,
straight.
we were allowed to sleep when we can,
Yeah.
and we're allowed to cook our meals when we can. So we take care of this station like it's our own house.
Yeah.
We do the same chores. We mop, we clean, we make up our beds just like we do at home. But we also have a day to run. We have business hours we have to conform to. But we can also work out as well. As firefighters, you have to stay in good physical condition.
Sure.
We have a good workout room that we utilize. And after 5 o'clock, we do have a place that we can sit down in the recliner and enjoy the rest of the evening until it's time to go to bed, or unless an emergency call comes in. Exactly.
And that happens with some frequency, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. The city of Cupertino is what we call a bedroom community. So we have a lot of industry. We have community colleges, a lot of schools, shopping malls. So it's a lot of activity during the day. And then at night, people tend to go home. Not everybody lives in Cupertino. That's when our call volume tends to drop. But we're seeing more and more as the economy improves. We're getting more and more calls at night. Medical calls don't take a rest at night. A lot of our calls are medical related now, so we go to medical calls 24 hours a day. Plus we have the freeways, major thoroughfares around here. So there's a wide variety of calls that we respond to. What we like to say is, as firefighters, we have the unique ability to have a positive impact on someone's life in a variety of ways. So those are just a few that I described.
Yeah, so it's not just emergency service, it's
not
a whole
just
variety of
emergency.
services that you provide
That's right.
out of this office. Well, very cool, and I'm glad to see that you've upgraded your computers from that old Macintosh.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're quite happy with these as well.
Good.
Thank you.
Great.
We're going to proceed to the Apparatus Bay where we have our engines and our trucks. I'm sure you'll find that pretty fascinating.
You bet. We saw a truck roll out of here just 10 minutes ago before we started here.
Yeah, that engine is probably one of the busiest engines, not just in the city of Cupertino, but also in the county. And they respond to a lot of, like I said, emergency calls, rescues, public assistance. We do have a large elderly population, so they respond a lot to assist those types of citizens. So we have an engine company that was just out of here. Now we have the truck company. The truck has the big ladder on top. The truck company and the engine company are different in that the engine carries more water, more hose, where the truck carries more rescue equipment. We carry the jaws of life. We carry bigger ladders to reach bigger areas. So they're more specialized for rescue. And then we also have what we call a Type 6 engine. That goes on wildland responses or grass fires. This engine and the green engine in the far end, they also are part of the Master Mutual Aid Plan, where if there's a fire in a different community like there was this past summer, it can go anywhere up and down the state. In some cases, that engine is owned by the state. That engine actually went all the way up to Washington to assist with the firefighting efforts up there. So this city of Cupertino Fire Station is very well represented when it comes to deploying resources and assisting other jurisdictions, knowing that if we had an incident in this jurisdiction, in this area, we would depend on other agencies deploying resources to help as well.
So everybody helps everybody else.
Yeah, that's the name of the game of the fire service. That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody helps everybody else.
Very fun. So you're captain of the unit that works on this truck, right?
That's
Is there
right.
anything special you'd like to show us about this piece of...
With this piece of equipment, what's unique is, as a captain, you take in the information and you develop a plan of action, whether it's at a fire or a rescue or any type of medical emergency. So I'm responsible for a team. My team on the truck consists of 4 individuals, and we have 1 paramedic. We have 1 paramedic on every piece of apparatus, not just in Cupertino, but in every engine throughout the county. The reason being is we want to make sure that we have 1 paramedic on scene, as well as a paramedic from our transporting partners, to ensure the best possible care for that patient. So as a captain, I have to make sure that I deploy the resources that are on this particular piece of equipment efficiently, and that we train with them so that we have the best equipment for whatever the situation calls for. So as an example, we have the jaws of life. We have our spreading tools. These are mainly for car accidents. We have airbags that will lift really, really heavy objects just enough to get the person out. So this is just an example of the type of equipment and technology that we use in the fire service. But of course, we can't use this if we don't train with it. So a lot of the times when we do have downtime, a lot of it is spent training so that we're at the correct readiness to respond to any type of emergency.
Oh, wonderful. So what is this yellow hose here?
This yellow hose is what we call a Plimo vent. So in the 70s and 80s, if you were to watch the show Emergency, you would see vehicles pull into the Apparatus Bay, but they would be breathing in all this exhaust. So studies have shown that this is very hazardous. So they've come up with this system where they can capture the exhaust and exhaust it outside of the station. So that provides a safer environment for the firefighters as well as citizens that come to visit. So it's very unique technology, but we're very happy to have it. That's why we don't notice that big odor of exhaust here in the App Bay.
And when the truck is finally ready to roll, it starts to pull out, and this just
It starts to
separates.
pull out, and it'll self-release.
Yeah.
The mechanism will redeploy back up, and off we go.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, nobody wants to breathe
No, absolutely not.
fumes from what are these diesel engines,
That's
I guess,
right.
right?
That's right. That's right. The old station before, if you can face forward, the old station used to face out to Stevens Creek.
Okay.
When they built this station, what was unique is we didn't have as much of impact on Stevens Creek now because we can control the lights so the engine or truck can go out and traffic will stop at a safe distance, and it just allows traffic to flow a lot smoother. So we're really happy that we have this type of technology.
And then you can go both ways, I guess.
We can go either direction. We
Yeah.
can go east or west on Stevens Creek.
Nice.
It is not unusual in this station to have both engines go out at the same time and have one turn left on Stevens Creek and one turn right
Wow.
for two different emergencies.
Yeah.
So what's nice is the staffing at this station is such as we can handle a variety of emergencies simultaneously with the amount of staffing that we have.
Cool. That's great. Nice. So this ladder would extend a long, long ways into the sky, I guess.
This
huh?
ladder is 100 feet. So ideally it could
Wow.
reach the 6th floor of a high-rise. That's pretty high. We would normally use the stairs, but if we have to spray water or get equipment or personnel, we would use the ladder. And it takes, actually one person can actually deploy this ladder all by themselves, set up the outriggers and deploy the aerial device. So it's a very unique piece of equipment, but it serves a specific purpose. The fire service has evolved to becoming more and more specialized. That's why we have a hazardous materials program. We have rescue companies. We have another truck company. Those are all tailored to deploy on very specific types of emergencies. So we're very fortunate in this organization. We're very proactive, and when we see a need, our department has been at the forefront of deploying new technology, new pieces of equipment. So.
I've heard that another thing that the fire folks are getting together on throughout the county is trying to figure out how all the communications meet one radio standard. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We can go back in the office if you like.
Okay.
So here we have engine 71 just returned from an incident. So the name of the game of the fire service is, of course, communication. A lot of different departments communicate on different frequencies, which makes it a challenge sometimes to communicate on very large incidents, to communicate with different jurisdictions. That's improved tremendously since the Oakland Hills fire. But there's still improvement that we can have. In this county, a lot of departments still have different frequencies and different dispatch centers. Yeah. Right now, if you call 911 from Cupertino, your call will be directed to a dispatch center in San Jose, where we have our dispatchers. The dispatchers are trained to troubleshoot or triage the type of call it is, and they will dispatch the appropriate resources depending on that emergency. It could be just a fire engine, it could be a fire engine and an ambulance, or it could be a fire engine, an ambulance, as well as the police department, or in this case, the sheriff's department. So we have a very unique ability to triage the calls and dispatch accordingly. What the county's goal is now is to try and have hopefully one dispatch center where your calls are routed to just one area, and we can seamlessly dispatch the closest resources using a common frequency. We're not there yet, but that's the goal, and a lot of effort is being made towards that goal.
Yeah, I have some friends, elected officials from other cities that I know are also working to try to make this happen. So
we have the technology now where we can change frequencies and talk to other departments or other agencies. So we do have that capability, but that's still being refined.
Now, to what extent do you use commercial technology, things like iPhones, in your line of work? Do you use them at all?
We use them quite a bit. We use iPhones, iPads, the computers that you saw, because that always goes back to what we subscribe to as improved communication, not only internally, but also externally as well. So we use that technology in a variety of ways, much like people use them in their personal life, but in this case we use them in a business sense. And they have direct application to what we do in the fire service.
So if we have poor cell phone reception in certain parts of the city, how does that impact your operations?
For us, that doesn't impact us as well because we have other ways in which we can communicate. So we're not totally dependent on cell service.
Sure.
So we're very unique in that way. We have to have backup means to
even when the
communicate.
cell service is off.
Even when the cell service is off,
Sure.
exactly. In this case, if there was a major earthquake, for example, and our radio communication was down, We have now created relationships with the local mobile radio resources who would be deployed throughout, and we can communicate that way as well.
Amateur radio?
Amateur radio, yes.
Okay, cool.
So we've developed those relationships and now have more ready communication in the event we have an emergency to better serve and to better respond to different emergencies.
In Cupertino, I believe it's called the Cupertino Amateur Radio Emergency Services.
Cupertino
right?
Races.
CARES.
That's
Yeah.
right, CARES, exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
But my understanding is there are a lot, you do have more sophisticated tools that do depend on those cell towers working.
We do.
And that would be an important thing to enhance in our community.
Absolutely. Whatever we can do to enhance the communication with the citizens and emergency services, that's always going to benefit the community.
Yeah.
Always going to benefit the community.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know, we've really appreciated being in your house today. It's been really interesting. I've actually never been over here to see what you all, to see your physical presence. We've, of course, seen you all over the city, and you come to our events and you support everything, and we're most appreciative of that.
Well, Mayor Sinks, we thank you for coming to our house and for a visit. Just like we invite all the citizens to come to our house, to any of the fire stations, for a visit, for a station tour, to be educated on what actually we do as firefighters. The days are long gone where we just sit around, pet the dog, play checkers, and wait for a call.
No dogs here?
No dogs here,
Oh.
no.
No Dalmatians?
No Dalmatians, no. We're very, very active and very busy, as you see. But if any of your citizens or anybody wants more information on our department, you can always go to www.sccfd.org, and it'll provide you a wealth of information, not just on what we do, but on public education programs we offer.
Yeah.
Or you can have a contact to schedule a station tour if you like.
Nice.
So we very much thank you for
So
coming.
this kind of tour you might make available to citizens. That
We
want to
do
come in.
these types of station tours on a weekly basis.
You do.
For elementary school children, all the way up to adults and the elderly.
And
we
even
also,
mayors.
And even mayors. And we go out to different civic programs as well.
Yeah, I know you do. So public education is a big part of your mission.
It's a big part of our mission, and we're very, very happy to do it.
Well, Captain LaFuente, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And that'll do it for our broadcast this week. Thank you all very much.